Hello and welcome to another Battlefield 6 weapons guide. In today's guide, we will be talking about the boot, otherwise known as the SCAR, otherwise known as the SOR 556 MK2 in Battlefield 6. This gun excels at a lot of things, and we're going to get right into it with our build. So the most important aspect I think with this gun more than anything is a little bit of precision, and we're going to want bullet velocity. So we're going to stick to our standard single port brake, or if you want to go suppressors you can, but I think the single port brake does everything you want, and honestly it's pretty cheap to boot. When we talk about our barrels, I really think you have two options. I think the extended and the heavy both serve purposes, or serve the purpose that you're looking for. But I do like the extended simply because it gives you a little bit more bullet velocity. And this thing is very efficient from medium range, so we're going to go ahead and run it as is. So from our vertical perspective, we are either going to be running the 6H64, or this is the first time I'm going to say this, we can run the canted stubby, which gives us all the precision control and mobility that we're looking for. Same thing with your mags as our standard AR builds. We're going to be looking at the 30 round, then the 36, then the 40. The good thing about the SCAR is you unlock these pretty early, so it can enable you to kind of have the 40 relatively quicker than a lot of the other guns. I like to run the penetration rounds, of course, just because we're going to be shooting into groups of people, and I'm trying to get as much kills as possible. As with most of our assault rifle builds, we're going to give us a cheap laser just to give us a little bit of hip fire accuracy. And then, of course, for our sights, I will admit that the 4x that comes with this thing as a base is a very clean scope on this gun, as I really have been using this thing as more of a DMR more than anything, and I do think the bloom allows you to run it as so. So the whole premise of the SCAR in this game is it is very good from about medium range onwards. And honestly, I'd go out as to say that this has probably been my favorite AR experience of the past couple days. It is very efficient from a distance, and I have more than a few clips, including the last one, which is kind of spicy and then a little bit of a disappointment. But it does excel from what I would say as past the kind of range of what we are usually dealing with. It is very effective from 25 meters onwards. And even on full auto, you can really find a use for it, as you see here, as the bloom really isn't too bad. I didn't like this gun at first, but I think it's definitely worth giving a try, as it really does feel like a very solid assault rifle and kind of a DMR put together if you want to run it that way. Now, the thing about this gun, of course, is that it hits very hard. We're looking at 25 damage, the same as the M4A1. But the thing about it is, when we're shooting people from a distance, which is what you're mostly going to be doing with this gun, you are going to be able to kill people relatively quickly because you unlock the 40 rounder so quick. The thing about the SCAR is, more than anything, it doesn't feel like it's trying to do something besides just being an assault rifle. It hits hard, it has pretty good accuracy, the bloom isn't too crazy, and the rate of fire itself isn't too crazy. I think it all, in all honesty, it kind of does feel like the perfect assault rifle in a way. Granted, I haven't unlocked the two last assault rifles that you get from the challenges, but out of the ones that I have so far, I will go out on a limb here and say that I only spent about 4 to 5 hours with this game today, and I hit Mastery 20 with it relatively quick. And I have to say, it feels really good. I played a ton of Breakthrough with it today. Been running it on a variety of maps and using it in a variety of different situations. And I have to admit, it really does just come off as a gun that is really the perfect AR and can also be a pretty good short range, or you can run this thing as a medium to long range. As the tap fire, when you hit just your trigger or your mouse a couple times, it does feel really good. Now, there really isn't much else to say about the SCAR. There hasn't been a situation that I found myself in that it really feels like weak. I think the rate of fire, like I said, is just perfect, and the fact that it does 25 damage, with the fact that you get the 40 rounder pretty early with this thing, I really do think it just ends up giving you a pretty solid AR platform. That, I mean, I really didn't expect. I had tried this gun a couple days ago and kind of skipped over it because I thought the initial just the kind of way it felt initially didn't feel great. But I have to admit now, after playing it most of today, and a little bit of yesterday as well, this gun feels more than anything like a dream for an assault rifle lover. It has the perfect amount of damage. It has a perfect amount of bloom from a distance, so you can actually engage people from a distance without having to waste all your ammo. And more than anything, it really just does feel like a complete package that most of the attachments can be unlocked relatively quick. And I think that more than anything makes this a solid assault rifle for anyone that's looking for an AR that hits relatively hard, but still has the kind of, you know, other aspects that you might be looking for in other guns, such as the carbines. Like I said, the rate of fire might hold you back a little bit. But honestly, I don't see a world where most people that like running assault rifles and like running the assault class are going to hate this gun, because it really does feel very smooth, and honestly, I have no complaints in my time playing with it. I'm going to move on to bigger and bigger things, but this is honestly going to be up there with the G36 as one of my favorite assault rifles in the game thus far. As always, I hope y'all have a good rest of your day, a good rest of your month, and a good rest of your year. There are some pretty good clips ahead if you want to stick around. If not, well, make sure you comment what you think about this build, and maybe give me a like just in case. Helps out the algorithm and all that junk. But I'm really curious what people think about this gun. I know one of my commenters had said that the SCAR really did excel it better than some of the other ARs. And I have to admit, son or king, wherever you're at, you are a genius because this gun just, I don't know, it just excels at just mowing people down. And honestly, I found myself really enjoying my time with it. Probably a gun that I'll revisit eventually, but for now, we are going to put it in the closet as we continue this series of doing gun guides on every gun that I feel like doing, which at this point is looking pretty hectic. As always, I hope to see y'all on the next Battlefield video, and make sure you stick around to see the disappointment at the end of this vid where I completely choke what would have otherwise been a pretty amazing set of kills. As always, love y'all. See y'all next time.